Hey, everyone. Jason Miller here from Peaceful Media, Jam at Peaceful, whatever you want to call me, blueberry jam, strawberry jam, apricot jam, jamalicious, jamalama ding dong, jamalama llama, whatever works for you. Give me a little shout out here in the chat if you're joining me live so I can know that you're here and present and interact with you. So use the little chat here. Hopefully you're joining live. I see a couple people in here already. All right. So today's episode is right in the heat of things. So as we all know, or if you don't know, if you're just joining this, the Freedom Lab thing for the first time, quick little catch up here. Freedom Lab Season 2 is all about showing you how we're launching a product called Launch 31 here at Peaceful Media. So Launch 31 is a DIY website building, strategic website, marketing website, design, setup, writing course. Basically, I take you through a whole series of action steps, and within 31 days, the promise is that you can launch your site. I'm just looking at the action planner over here. So anyways, this whole episode, this whole series, Freedom Lab, is really just showing you how we're going about and putting that out into the world and offering people that course to people. And this is behind the scenes, real-time stuff. So I figured today would be a great opportunity to just get all humble with you and let you know that that even as someone who's running a digital marketing company, doing launches requires a lot of psychological training, mindset stuff. So I'm going to share 3 things that I've learned recently, not only about myself, but also about how we go about launching courses successfully for our clients here at Peaceful Media. But I'm going to bookend, a marketing tactical piece for you with 2 mindset pieces that I've noticed have helped a lot in getting this off the ground. So if you're running an online business, the hope is, the pursuit is that it will financially return all that work that you've done, right? And the way to monetize all the work you've done to get your message out there and create a loyal audience is ultimately to offer something, whether that's coaching, consulting, or a digital product that people can do in their free time without you teaching one-to-one or one-to-many in a real-time environment. So I think that's basically online business 101 is you eventually want to have a product that you can launch. And the challenge is, as we go, especially if, I would say everyone, including myself, the challenge is you want this to be perfect. I'll just speak personally. I want this to be perfect. I want to set up this beautiful launch that has everything ironed out. And the challenge is that there is no one saying, there's no boss saying, yo, you have to get this done or you're fired. In the online business, it's usually an entrepreneurial endeavor. I can say that for myself. It's an entrepreneurial endeavor. I don't have a boss. I have a team here at Peaceful Media, but they aren't telling me you have to get this done or you're done. Because it's partly my company. So you can't fire me. So the same thing applies for you if you're doing this, whether this is your side hustle to launch your online business and get your course out there or your online product out there, or it's your full-time endeavor. You just don't have that force that we do have in a more structured work environment, such as a corporate environment where there's a quote unquote peaceful gun to your head saying you got to get this done, you got to perform. We need the financial rewards of this. Now I say that, and then as I'm saying that out loud, there's sort of a pressure and a sort of a force on us to go out and monetize this, because oftentimes that's our gateway, that's our leaping point from whatever you're doing on the main hustle, say your primary career or corporate job or whatever, that salaried gig where bosses are telling you what's up and what to do, right? And when to do it and when to do it by. So in the entrepreneurial world, we have to find those other reasons why we're going to do this. And so I know there's a lot psychologically we can do to dive into, well, okay, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my people that really need this. That does wonders. And at the same time, that can really get pushed behind the priority of perfection. And when we have perfection as the uppermost priority, nothing gets out there, right? So this applies whether you're launching a course, obviously, or putting up your website, or hooking up that new email marketing, sales, funnel and stuff for your business. If you just don't have to do it today, you won't. So my number one thing I've learned that has really helped me recently is a deadline. And guess what? Deadlines that we put up on a wall or our calendar aren't enough, in my opinion. What I've found is working best for me is when I announce to my audience, this is coming out on a certain date. And the bigger the audience, the bigger that pressure is. I know it's really simple. You came here to learn marketing tactics for online product launches, etc. But I'm telling you, this is the stuff that gets in the way before we can even apply all the tactics, the marketing tactics that help us convert better and get more customers and clients and so forth. So I'll show you what we did in Launch 31. What I did is I sent out, I have a wait list in our CRM, and I sent out an email describing how I feel about them. It's a very personal, intimate. I'm kind of sharing with them how much I really think about them. So if I receive that as a wait list member, so all these people have been joining a wait list, waiting for us to finally release this and open up the doors. If I receive this, my hope is that they feel taken care of and rewarded for taking that initiative to sign up for a priority registration list that they didn't even know exactly what it was for. It was like, Launch 31, I'm going to teach you how to launch your own website with a series of action steps on a blueprint, right? It's your expert marketing website blueprint. And that's it. That's all I've really been telling people, unless they've kind of searched their way around YouTube and found their way to maybe our sales pages in the past from our beta launch. But otherwise, they're just kind of sitting there in the dark going, okay, well, whenever that expert marketing website blueprint thing comes out, okay, great. So I wanted to reward them because honestly, every morning, almost every morning, yeah, pretty much every morning, when I'm doing my gratitude sessions, when I'm meditating, when I'm doing my walk and I'm thinking about who I'm serving today and why, I'm thinking about these people who signed up for the waitlist, who filled out the survey, the pre-course survey, telling me what they want and sharing all of their frustrations, sharing all their frustrations with me. I'm thinking about them and I'm thinking about how I can take care of these people. So I wanted to, my first step in this was to set a deadline. I'm doing this, and guess what? I'm telling hundreds of people at once that I'm doing it. That creates that extra, maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 90% force in our psychology that it's going to happen. And it may not be perfect. It may freaking fall apart, but I'm doing it because people are going to hit me up and say, where is it? I'm ready, So that's number one. Write down, send something to your audience that says, you will see this on this date. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The email I sent out to that wait list, I told them that there would be a webinar this week. It's actually going to be next week because when I got down in the weeds of it, just setting up everything that I'm releasing did take more time than I think. So I'm I'm going to have to send another little thing to the wait list and say, hey, I know you said there was a webinar, but yeah, so that's next Thursday. I want to make sure you see this, right? Okay, so let me show you real quickly, because there's a lot involved with what I just said. Let me show you really quickly what I set up so you can understand. I don't have to like recover this in the future episodes about how we're launching this. Actually, I'm going to come back to that in point 3 today. Okay, so number 2, this is point number 2 on the things I've been learning recently about launching your own online product. By the way, say what's up if you're in here in the chat, and if there's anything useful for you, if you have a deadline that you are setting now that you've heard the importance of this in my world, please let me know. I'd love to interact with y'all right here in the live chat room. And if you don't see that, if you're on mobile device, it's going to be below the video. And if you're on desktop or laptop, it should be on the right. Okay, so let's continue. I'll watch the chat here. So number 2 is retargeting. I recently went to a talk here with Ryan Deiss. He's the digital marketing. Hey, Kirsten. I always want to say Kirsten, but it's Kirsten. What's up? Glad to see you here in the Freedom Lab. Always a treat to see your name pop up. And she was customer 0001 in Launch 31. So always a very special moment for anyone launching a course to see that first person come in and say, yeah, you know. So Shisten, that's what you represent, as you know. We've talked about this a lot. So anyways, I was watching Ryan Deiss at InfusionCon or Icon or whatever it's called. Infusionsoft's live event where they're doing the Kool-Aid thing with everyone. And Ryan Deiss came up and he kind of flipped the script on everything that digital marketers, internet marketers have been preaching and talking about for the last 10 years. I don't know if digital marketing goes back that far. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, the whole thing for the last 10 years has been building up your email list. You know, the phrase is the size of your list is the size of your income. So there's like this direct proportion, and then it was accurate. I mean, it was tens of thousands. Not always. There's anomalies where someone with a 2,000 person email list was making $200,000 or $2 million because they were so loyal. But for the most part, the general rule was, you know, our number one priority with digital marketing is to build that list, because we know that at the back end of that is more subscribers, more revenue. So that has been the going principle. And what he said was, and maybe this is completely old hat in the hardcore internet marketers, but it was a new, the way he said it was, okay, that really stuck. He said it's not going to be about the number of emails we collect with our website. It's going to be the number of browsers we pixel. And that, my friends, is generally called retargeting / remarketing. So this, for some people who are brand new to this, I got to admit, I'm not a ninja at this stuff. We have ninjas on our team here at Peaceful Media, John Randak and Cricket, who get in there and really understand this stuff. But I understand the power of it and the results of it and the basic techniques involved and why you would want to do it. And this applies, by the way, to anyone, whether you're ready to, anyone who has a website or is getting any traffic whatsoever. You want to know about this, because this is something that you can retroactively yank data from and use it to improve your marketing ROI. Okay, so that's the promise with retargeting. So let's talk about the basics. Someone comes to your website. Hey, Christina, what's up? Watched Mark Dillard, must master this, right? Okay, yeah, so you just heard the same thing. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about with Dillard. Okay, so someone lands on your website. There's a script. There's lots of scripts running on most modern websites. So don't be weird. Don't think this is weird. Like, oh, I'm putting a script in there. You know, this is very common. Doesn't matter whether you're running a Squarespace like we teach in Launch 31 or a WordPress or any other site. You'll always have the ability to drop a script, to put a copy and paste a script into your website. And what that does is it's tracking, just like analytics, Google Analytics, it's tracking all of your pages. It basically tracks that the visitor has been there. That's all fine and good. Google Analytics does the same thing. But what retargeting does is allows you now or later to show display ads, you know, the creepy ads that follow you around the web. Show display ads, banners, all across the web wherever they go. So the company that does this best, in my opinion, there's two of them actually, but the most common one you've probably seen is you go to Amazon.com, you search for a product, you get down to the product detail page. We just did it here at Peaceful Media. We're searching for a new router. Suddenly, the person who was searching for that router, Kara, had that router with an easy click of a button, come back to Amazon to purchase that router, sitting on all the pages she went to that had display ads. Now, display ads are very, very common on most media publishing sites. We were using speed tests, and you know, they give you a free speed test, and in the meantime they have display ads surrounding the speed test. So perfect. You know, that ad for a router was right next to a speed test. That was a really, really well done. A lot of our clients, ultimately what happens is, because we know a person has been on a certain key page, we can show them a key ad, where it becomes really powerful. I'll give you a scenario. Christine, I know. This is why we have ninja digital marketers that understand this stuff upside and down here on Peaceful Media's team, because yeah, it's a whole world of what to do with all this data. This is really literally cutting like ROI of marketing, because here's the scenario. Let me give you a sample campaign. Let me give you our campaign. So I'm launching a 3-part workshop. That's why I keep looking over here. A 3-part. Let me just point you over here. You can't even see that, but it's a DIY website workshop series, and it's 3 parts where I'm going to teach key elements or key parts of what we teach in Launch 31. Let me get my mic over here. So I want them to understand the 5 key components about that you have to have on an online marketing system website, or a marketing oriented website. There's a big difference between a brochure and something that's actually getting followers, subscribers, and customers, right? There's like a brochure I can hold and take home and drop in the trash when I get home. Recycling, please recycle your brochures. And on the other hand, there's a marketing website that actually I can opt into, I can subscribe to, I can actually go purchase something. That's a sales and marketing oriented website. So I want to make sure that my audience, and this is kind of beginner stuff, but I want to make sure that we're all speaking the same language and that they understand the 5 key components that they must have on a marketing oriented website. I'm going to walk them through how I've placed those elements in our Squarespace site, which is, again, that's the platform from which I'm teaching the Launch 31 curriculum, the blueprint, the DIY blueprint. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? I mean, there's a reason. I drank passion tea today, and it's pink. All right. So number 2, I'm going to talk about how to quickly, easily create and write and design your lead magnet. So for beginners, that's the item that people want and exchange their email for on your website. So on Brendan's, it's brendan.com. It's the 5x50 productivity tool. For us, we have several. We have the Creating Loyal Audience Guide. We have the Freedom Lab, which is another opt-in. So this in our case, the best case that I'm going to teach on here is how to create something like a PDF that looks sharp and looks professional and people actually want. So as email marketing and list building has proliferated across the web, and everyone who has taken any level of study within the online marketing space understands the importance now of having an email list. And, you know, again, that was the whole paradigm. And so that's that hurdle, which used to be very, very small, or the hoop that used to be very, very big for people to jump through because it's like very novel. Ooh, I can get a 5,000 page ebook for free. You know, all I got to give you is my email address. Today, it's like, do I want more shit in my inbox? Nope. I know what's going to happen. I opt in for this. I get a shitty newsletter, you know? So, and that's hopefully something that we can all avoid by actually sending value. We'll talk about that later. But at the front end, I don't want people to miss that opportunity to get an email because they haven't thought strategically about what's working with email list building today. So rather than that huge online video workshop series, we actually want a lower hanging fruit, low time investment, a much easier experience for our people, especially when they're at the top of our funnel, or as we like to say, at the bottom of our ascension steps. Okay, so that's going to be my second one. And then number 3 is I'm going to teach them how to lay out the 7 R's of a strategic, savvy, thought leader website homepage. So this is really getting down into the weeds of actual implementation. I'll show you how I lay it out, how I think about it strategically, why each element is where it's at, and how to actually come up with a copy. And we'll lay out the 7 R's of influence on a real homepage, and I'll show you along the way. So it's going to be a killer workshop series, and so going back to what happens here is I'm just going to send traffic via our email list. Sorry, that light's right in your face. Via the email list, via Facebook ads, and via display ads. Display ads because I'm tracking people who come to our website with retargeting. So there's a little script that's putting a pixel in everyone's browser who comes to our website. I can now see all those people across the web. I can now present something to those people all across the web. Now, now that I'm going to create 6 different ads, display ads, for that DIY website workshop series, and I'm going to go to one of our ninja retargeting specialists who understands AdRoll, which is probably the #1 retargeting tool out there, who understands AdRoll to a high degree. And we're going to go, and actually maybe on the next episode, I'll show you how we did that so you can see how it's all implemented. So we're going to show an invitation, display ads, to come and join our workshop series. It's free, right? And I'll know that I'm getting the best bang for my advertising buck because they've already expressed interest. We know that because they've come to our website. Now you can get way more drilled down and get even more granular on who you want to target these ads to. For instance, I can show these ads to someone who's been on one specific page of my website. So on my landing page where I'm going to ask people to opt in, let me share my screen. Yeah, over here. Okay, hopefully you're seeing that. I'll refresh this. I think the YouTube video is just getting done loading. So I'm trying something here that I don't normally do. And that is I've just placed my opt-in. I'm treating my blog as a landing page. What I like about this is, and I'm totally going to test this and I'll let you know if it works, but what I like about this is that I don't look like every other landing page that people get to from ads, which kind of instantly, for me, I just think like the lead pages and the landing pages are getting so saturated in the marketplace. I'm like, you know, I want people to feel safe and comfortable here. You know, don't run away because I've sent you to the same marketing opt-in landing page template that everyone else is sending you to, you know, with a few modified colors, but everything else is the same. So I'm trying something here. I'll let you know how it goes. I might try a split test where I send another half of traffic or just another chunk of traffic over to a strict landing page that has no other things to click on it but to register for the series, and we'll see. But I like this because I was able to create it really quickly, and I'm going to try a different psychological tactic here. So a few things I could do. Okay, so anyways, I put a YouTube video showing people, you know, the fears and challenges that are keeping people back from having the website and online marketing system that they really want. And hopefully that connects with my audience. I know it will, because I've talked to hundreds of them, and we've surveyed them too, right? We talked about that in the earlier episodes of Freedom Lab. And what my hope is that people listen to those and see those and go, okay, yes, that's me. Now, okay, I'm here. I'm clearly in the right place because you get me. Now, what kind of solution have you put together? And the lowest hanging, the biggest hurdle, the lowest ask is I will give you a ton of free training. I'm talking like 3 hours of training amongst these 3 workshops, online workshops. And all you got to do is register for free and put in your email. So I listed out who will benefit most. These, again, tie into my market research and my fears and challenges that my market is facing. My favorite is actually a quote that Dr. Carrie Rose, who was on the last episode, gave us. And she said it's the C school to Marie Forleo's B school. I love that. So I included that in my copy and explain what that means. If you don't know what that B school is, this is the how series with a light sprinkling of why, not the reverse. And so anyways, those are all to further entrench that, yes, I'm in the right place. And then here's the topics we'll cover. I have a register free here button and online workshop 1, as we were talking about. And then cost is 0 and register free here again. And so I'm using Webinar Jam as our, as our webinar system, as the name suggests. So this will look different for everyone if you have different systems, but we are an affiliate, a referral partner for Webinar Jam. And if you ever want to get a little bit more advanced with your webinars, same thing here with Freedom Lab. We use Freedom Lab is all based on Webinar Jam, as you've probably seen. So you can always get your copy of Webinar Jam by going to peacefulmedia.com/ref/Webinar Jam. Okay, so register free here. So this is what that looks like. People can opt in, put in their phone number and an email address and all that stuff and register, and then they'll land on a thank you page we put together. So in the retargeting sense, I want to know if they've been here but didn't convert. That's a really, really high value ad display. I also want to track whether or not they got over here to the thank you page. Because if someone's registered, I don't want to show them an ad to come join the free workshop anymore, right? So I need to kick that information back to AdRoll, which is our retargeting system, and to Facebook, which another retargeting system. Again, I'll show you more in depth, maybe next episode, okay? But I want you to get the big picture here. They land here, they no longer will see the ads. That's smarter investment in your advertising. So, and by the way, this video is so cute. Two of our favorite team members here, Max and Nicole, got in the mix. I love it. I love seeing them on camera with me. All right, so that's the basic structure, and that's why retargeting is so helpful. Now, I can also track another scenario to take this a little bit further. when someone eventually comes to the Launch 31 sales page and doesn't buy, same thing applies. If they don't buy, then I want to give them, just like Amazon does with that router, I want to follow them around the web and remind them to come back and don't forget. Oh, you're getting coffee for me? Yes. The team's all quiet. They should just pop into the webinars more often. Okay, so that's how we're using retargeting. And that was one reason why, here, let me switch it back to on camera here. And let me check the chats and see what's going on with y'all. Switch here. Okay, coming back here. Okay, but that's why no matter if you're launching anything right now, go get the retargeting scripts. I think they are free until you start showing ads. Yes, that is correct. I checked in with my inner guidance. Yes, they are free. Just it's wise to go and get those 2 scripts: Facebook Pixel, which is attached to your Facebook page, not to your Facebook personal. Facebook Pixel. If you don't know how to get it, I'll show you next time, but you can also Google how to get my Facebook advertising pixel script. It'll be a script, and then you get one from AdRoll. Again, totally free. You just want to start tracking now so that when you come back later, you can always have that data of all these people who visited your stuff. Show the display ads retroactively. Okay, so let's see. Christina, did that help pull your exploded mind back in a little bit? I know this stuff can go really deep, and I'm barely scratching the surface. Okay, so cool. Shish, 3 smiley faces. That's a good sign. Okay, so keep posting your questions if you have any. We'll just keep going. Number 3. So we had the deadline. That's one mindset thing that's changing the game. It's just forcing me to do it. And then on the flip side of that, on the other side of my Oreo cookie is this reminder. The most important thing we can do with a product launch is to serve. Simple, simple, simple as that. It's the most important thing we can do, to serve. And you've heard this from everyone from Ramit to Pat Flynn to Brendan to Jeff Walker. This whole game is about how much we serve our audiences. Okay? So that's why I don't feel at all bummed or whatever. I mean, I'm thinking about the people who come to us and say, good Lord, I can't give away all that value. What will be left? What the hell? That's all for free? I normally charge X thousands of dollars for my time for that to do that. This is where we just want to overwhelm people with service. The number one thing you can do to increase your conversions is to create your loyal tribe. It's the same thing we talk about in our Creating Loyal Audience guidebook. If you want sales, create a tribe. Create an audience that trusts you and understands that you have their best interests in mind. In the old days of internet marketing, it was like, take money from people. That was people's number one priority. The whole thing shifted and fell on its head, and those people suffered when people started really getting attached to a brand and a person who delivers what they say they're going to, and they're not going away. They're not going to change their name. Did you know that in the early internet marketing days, that some of the big marketers that we know today had pseudonyms, had different names for these things so that they wouldn't become known personally? It just seems ass backwards to me. If you have a product, put your name on it. Okay, we're not trying to hide from people. We're trying to serve. So get up on the platform and serve with everything you got, and then understand that you can't serve everyone for free. You need an investment on their part. You need their skin in the game if you want your material to really land. If I taught Launch 31 for free, and I took people through this 31 steps of action to launch their websites, and I didn't have any tripwire, anything up here that says you invest in this, you get your skin in the game, and I'll take you through this blueprint. Do you know how many people would actually complete it? 0. Because who cares? Why not procrastinate? Why not do the thing? I mean, doesn't matter to me. It didn't cost me anything, right? That phrase will go through their minds as they look at the daunting task of doing the blueprint. So I want people who've actually said, yes, I'm doing this. I don't want people to spend $27 because, oh, that's all it's really worth, and then get done right here because, whatever, 27 bucks. So that goes into your pricing, and you'll want to think about those things too. So the thing that's been really holding me back is perfectionism, to be honest with you. And I've come up with 4 different ways to launch this product again. I did the beta launch. It was great. Had an awesome time. It was kind of shotgun. I really wanted that, like, what is a streamlined sequence I can take people through on an evergreen basis? So I've come up with no less than 4 different really smart ways to do it. And every time I would get into it, I would be like, oh, wait a second. To be able to do this strategy is going to require another month of me getting in the lab and shooting another course. So, or creating more material. And at the end of the day, the deadline and the reminder to myself to just serve, everything else will take care of itself if we're doing that. That has pushed me over the edge and gotten me over this perfectionism, not procrastination, but perfectionism raccoon that keeps clawing at me. Okay, so read the chat here, see what you guys are saying. But those are the 3 things that are making the biggest difference. I've also given you a little tour of where I'm at and what I'm doing in real time currently with the Launch 31 campaign. And so you'll see those things. If you aren't on the wait list, you might want to get on real soon at launch31.com. And I'll send out not only a registration for that free series so you can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes, but also a little special treat because I want to take care of you. Okay, so go over to launch31.com if you're interested in launching your DIY website. We'll take off and call this In the Can, episode 5 of Freedom Lab season 2. Okay, that's funny because all I want to do is give away what I've learned about the secrets of the resistance and healing. I'd give it away all day long. And I know, Christina, you do, because I've been on your stuff. Tristan, you do the same thing. You guys are massive servants to people, healers, helping people transcend and awaken. So keep doing what you're doing and make sure that you're capturing leads and retargeting, or at least pixeling people's browser so that eventually when it's time to go out and do what we're doing here, launching your product, then you'll just be more successful at it and it'll cost you less. So Christina Schiss, thanks for joining me live. Those of you who weren't so peppy and talkative, thanks for joining me live. And if you want to join live next time, come over to freedomlabshow.com. I'm Jam at Peaceful Media. Until I see you next time in the Freedom Lab, remember to love more, play more, and do more good. Peace. I'm out.